beam, there is no node here. So our job is to break this. So for that, you just select these two. You just select this two, go to edit, and then edit frame, and then divide frame. Okay, so there is an option break at intersection. Just do that. Okay, so now you can see these two pieces for this particular beam. Okay, so that's it. So now another, you must check the releases. So there is no other releases because all are beam to column connections. Only this secondary we have to, there is only one beam which we need to release in this particular beam. Other releases are not there. So just select this beam, go to assign frame, and then release partial fixity. So because we need to release it for both end, just tick on both end and start and end, start and end. Okay. So M2, M3, I both things, and actually it's a measurement, so only M3 needs to be released. But preferably you can release both moments, not an issue, because this is very small. This moment may not be there in the magnitude of up to 1 kilonewton maybe. So less than that also. So this is very small moment, so you can release both moments safely. So release this moment. So you will see this symbol, which is some small dot is there, which indicates that this beam is released at this ends. Okay, so this geometry is over for beam. Now we will draw the slab. Okay, so slab drawing, as I told you, there are three tools, 1, 2, and 3. I will use this quick draw slab tool. Okay, or you can use this also, not an issue. And is because this is small, you can draw entire slab. Ultimately it is going to mesh at that particular location, so mesh will be there, but as far as possible you can draw panel by panel if it's possible. So I will go by panel drawing for this particular thing. So let's select this slab and property and go for drawing. Okay, slab is drawn. Okay, now the next job is to put mesh for the slab. But before going for mesh, I will prefer to apply loads, and then after application of load only I will mesh it. But the meshing will be there because it is auto mesh. Before application or after application, it will not. The manual thing or auto meshing, if you are not using, then the meshing will break your slab into small pieces, so it is difficult to select your slab. So let us mesh this slab by auto mesh option. So for that you have to select all these slabs. You can see how many shells are selected here. It is 728 edges. Okay, and go to assign. Then there is an option called shell. In you will find this floor auto mesh option. Okay, so go for that. You tick all these elements: mesh at beam, mesh at vertical wall edges, mesh as visible grid line. Further mesh it into 1000 by 1000 mm size. So 1000 mm means 1 meter by 1 meter. I think that will be sufficient for this model. So say OK. Okay, so you will find this cookie cut texture, means text is displayed on the slab. So that means it is meshed automatically. Okay, so meshing is done. Now we will go for loading application. Consider this as a floor slab for loading, and then after application of the load and replication, we will change the roof slab loading. Okay, so that is the procedure I am going to follow. So consider this as a floor slab for loading. So for that we have to first define the load cases. So go to define load patterns. Here you can find two default patterns are already there, dead and live. And then live you have to change to reducible live if you are using live load reduction. So modify load reducible live. And here I will define another load case, that is roof live load, RLL. Okay, that is also reducible live with multiplier equal to. Then also define the static load cases for seismic analysis. So that is EQX. This already I have explained you. So it is a seismic load type. I will follow 1893/2016 and new load and modify lateral load. Seismic data is not given here, so we will follow some same data for this thing. Okay, so let us do this Z factor will be 1.2. Now it is allowed to use 1.2 importance factor for residential building in your new edition of your 1893/2016. Previously it is 1 and 1.5. Only two factors are there. Now this 1.2 is also introduced. Now user defined time period, you have to calculate actually this time period. As I told you, there are three formulas which is given in your IS code for time period calculation. It depends on height of the building and depth of the building in that. Okay, so for the time being, this time period I will just here, but as I already shown you how this time period can be calculated, just let me open this again for you. Yeah. Here are these formulas, which is approximate time period for bare frame, dual type frame, and building with RC wall. So you can calculate that time period. Let us go back to the modeling. I will just put the time period same some value here. So because the depth of the building in X direction is around 3 plus 3. 6 plus 2.5 is 8.5, and in y direction it is 6. So building is more steep in X direction. So let us use say 1.1 second in X direction, and in y direction it is actually less than that. Okay, so X direction all data is assigned. Noise reduction I will keep 5, so say okay. Similarly in Y you add one more load case and new load, and then modify load. Here I will keep only Y, and importance factor is 1.2, Z factor is 0.24, and user defined point period I will use 0.9 in other direction. Why? Because in other direction the depth is less, so it is more stiff. Okay, so say okay. So these static load cases are defined, all load cases are defined. Okay, now let us assign the load for frame as well as the slab. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep this outer wall for entire this of periphery as 9 kilonewton per meter. I already told you how to work out that wall load. For time being, what we will assume that outer wall is 9 kilonewton per meter, and inner wall, all inner walls are 4.5 kilonewton per meter. That is the weight of the wall. Okay, so for that, what I have to do is I have to select this all these elements for outer walls, periphery. Okay, go to assign frame loads, and then there is a distribution. So here a load case will be dead load, and here I will put 9 kilonewton for outer wall, and inner wall I will keep load as 4.5 kilometer. So select all inner walls, means all inner beams, and then assign distributed. Here same load case I will keep 4.5. Remember this I will be considering as a floor so as to replicate, and then again roof you have to modify. I am putting all this load on. Why? Because in next step I am going to replicate all these member to all the floors, and then roof load I will modify. Okay, so that your time will be saved. Okay, so internal wall, external wall is over. Now I will put the load on slab. Let us assume that the slab finishing will be 1.5 kilonewton per meter square, and live load on the floors will be 2 kilonewton. live load on the roof will be 1.5 kilonewton. That is our assumptions. Okay, so I will first apply the dead load on means finishing load on the slabs. So first for that you have to select this slab. So all slabs you select it. Okay, then go for assign shell loads and uniform. Here it is dead load case. So 1.5 kilonewton is the finishing load which is assigned in dead load case. So again you select all these slabs, go to assign shell loads. Here it is uniform. So change that load case to live and live load intensity is 2. Okay. You can click and right click. You can check this load 1.5 and 2 kilonewton. So it is there. Okay. So loading application is done. Okay. So now the loading application is done. Now we have to do means you have to define the mass source for seismic load calculation. So again go to define mass source command. Here add new mass source. You name that mass source as MS. Maybe you can put any name as you want, and then go for specified load pattern as per specified load pattern. So dead load full I want. So dead load 1 add. Live load I want only 25%. So 0.25 for live load add. Don't add roof live load. That's why we have made it separate for the seismic mass calculation. Only dead and live, because roof live should not be included in seismic mass. So 1 and 2.25. So that's it. Mass source is defined. Say OK. And by default mass source you put it as MS. This is our mass source which is we have defined now. So, okay. Mass source is defined. The next option is we have mesh it also. Now the next option is we have to assign the diaphragm for this particular slab. Okay, so for that there is a selection option. There is a select. You can go with selection or you can select by object type, which is your floor. Okay, so all automatically getting selected, and then you assign, go to assign shell, and then there is a diaphragm. Okay, shell diaphragm. So B1 diaphragm, say OK. Okay, diaphragm is the same. You can see the center of rigidity is calculated by a software itself. So it is somewhere based on the sizes of column, sizes of beam, and the sizes of slabs. Okay, so I think releases are beam assignments are over, column assignments are over, slab loading is over, the frame loading is also over. Now it is safe to replicate all these things. So for that, what I will do, I will just select beams and slab for this particular floor, and then I will replicate all to other floor including plinth level, and then plinth level I will delete the slab. So let us select this. So this select like this, all beam except columns. Okay, don't put a window like this. Okay, so that means the columns will be getting selected. So you select slabs and beam. You can check here how many joints and how many frames are selected. Columns you need not to select. So I have selected only slabs and beams. Okay, slabs and beams. Okay, so let us replicate this. So for that, edit, replicate. It is story wise. So I will replicate this to all stories except base. So select all stories and say OK. Now this slab to all stories. One more thing is remaining, that is support specification. So for that we'll go to plan and base. Okay, select all nodes by drawing window and go to assign joint restraints fix. Supports are fixed. Again go back to our original thing. Okay, now this slab is replicated to all floor. Now what I want to do is I need to modify the top floor and a plinth level. The modification in the plinth level will be there is no slab at plinth level, only beams will be present. and in roof level I have to modify the loads. Okay, so for that let us go to the story 1, which is your plinth level. So here you can check this plan and story 1. Okay, so now I am at story 1. You can see this Z is 4 meter here. So here I don't want any slab. So let us delete all the slabs, select all slabs and just say delete. I will keep this all this beam at plinth level that will act as a tie beam. Also, there is a wall over here, so they will carry the load of the wall also. But slab is not required at plinth level. So let us delete the slab. The slab is deleted. Now it's okay. Now again go back to your roof level, which is 9th level, and here I need to modify the load. What is the modification? The first modification will be we have to remove the load from live load, which is there for the floor load case, and put the load in roof live load case. Okay, so for that just select all these slabs at roof level. Okay, go to frame loads, shell loads, okay, uniform. Okay, live load case is there. So what I will do, I will delete the load from live load case. So just put delete existing loads. Okay. Now live load case, there is no load at roof level. Now I will add the load in roof live load case. So again select all case load slabs, go to assign, shell loads, uniform, and just change this load case to roof live load, and here you put intensity as 1.5. The roof live load is 1.5. Okay, and say okay. Okay, now roof live load is getting added. The next modification I need to do is, because it is a roof, you have got water finishing, means waterproofing load. So waterproofing load will be slightly more than your finishing load. So finishing for floors we have assumed as 1.5, and we will consider again 1.5 for waterproofing additional. So it will be total of 3 kilonewton. Maybe you can go for 2.5 kilonewton safely. So 2.5 kilonewton will be the waterproofing load on the roof. That we will add in dead load case. Okay. So for that you just select it again. So go for assign, shell loads, uniform, and here the dead load case, and here you put 2.5. This 2.5 include waterproofing and finishing. Sometimes there may be tiles which is fitted on the roof, so that load will be around 2 to 2.5 kilonewton, including the slope and all, which will be provided for drainage of water. So that is additional load on the roof. So we'll keep 2.5 here. 2.5. Okay, so load modification is over. Now here again one more modification is there. We have loads for internal beams, because it is a roof, so internal beam loads will not be there. External again we have to modify to parapet load only. Okay, so let us modify external load on the roof. Select all external beams. Here we have assigned 9 kilonewton. So parapet will assume as say 1 meter. So if it is 1 meter, the load will be around 4.5 kilonewton per meter. So we'll consider 4.5 kilonewton per meter as a parapet load. So we'll modify this load to parapet load, which is around 4 to 4.5 kilonewton. You can always actually calculate the load. So load will be 0.2 into 1 into unit weight of your masonry, which is 18. So you can calculate and add. I will just put this figure as 4.5 meter right now for this modeling. So assign frame load, dead load case 4.5 already there. So let us replace this 4.5. Now this is 4.5, and I don't want load on internal beam because this is roof. So internal beam will not have any partition wall. So let us remove the load of partition wall from internal beam. For that, select all internal beams. Okay, go to assign shell, frame loads, distributed, and just say delete load case. Okay. Dead load case, loads are removed. Now we'll display the loads on this particular diagram and whether check whether the loads are proper or not. So go to display, show loads, frame loads, and dead load case. You can see here roof we will be having only parapet load and internal beams are not loaded. All other internal and as well as external beams are loaded for wall loads, and then there are shell load. Shell load will not be displayed like this. For shell load you have to just go to that element, right click and just check. See here it is a roof, so 2.5 as a dead load and RLL case it is 1.5. That's it. So the loading, everything is over. Support assignment is over. Now this model is ready for analysis. You can proceed for analysis. So let us analyze this and then we'll see some further commands for designing. Okay, so let us analyze this model. Okay, so he will ask me to save the model. I will just replace this with the new one. Yeah, one more thing is remaining. Analysis, I have to assign the response spectra load case. Okay, so do that also, then we'll again analyze this. So define functions response spectrum. So here I will select 1893-2016 as a function and say and new function. Here I will define RSX, or you can write down the function name as 1893-2016.